Hey guys, thank you for joining me today on Godspot. I want to talk to you about platinum faith. How to use your faith to respond versus reacting. James tells us in chapter 1 verse 19, "So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath." We live in a time where we have forgotten how to disagree with each other. Having a difference of opinion doesn't make us enemies. It doesn't mean we hate each other, and it certainly doesn't mean we can't be friends. Yet anger tends to bubble to the surface and burst as soon as someone reveals that they have an opinion different than ours. And then we think of words that are thrown around like intolerant, bigot, and closed-minded. And often it's on the social media platforms that we read these words, and people are very quick to judge and to tag others as well. Now, there's a truth that we need to understand is that Christianity isn't politically correct. That means that when we stand for what we believe and we stand upon our convictions and the Word of God, that we're going to be called bigots, that we're going to be called intolerant. And so we need to think how we're going to respond. And I suggest to you the correct response is a platinum faith response. Now, platinum is a noble metal. Platinum doesn't react with other metals. You can put gold and platinum in the same bowl and it doesn't invent a new compound. They stay separate. Whereas fool's gold, which is known as iron pyrite, is an unstable substance. And in fact, if you're not careful, it can blow up in your face. Now, there are friends that you have that are made of fool's gold friends. They leave us walking around eggshells around them, and you've got to be very careful with them. But then there are those who are platinum faith friends, who allow us to be vulnerable and transparent without fear of judgment or retribution. They're the people you need in your life. But I want to challenge you to become a platinum friend to others. So how do we do this? There's 3 ways. Number 1, train yourself to take a deep breath before speaking. Give yourself time and space to think before answering a question or responding to someone with a different opinion. Just take 3 seconds and think about a better response. That's why James says to be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. The second thing is write down your thoughts and walk away. Instead of texting and posting on social media, write it on a bit of paper. Write how it made you feel, write down the facts about it, and go away and think about it. And you'd be surprised, usually by the next day, you have a different perspective on what took place. Thirdly and lastly, repeat the phrase when you are being confronted and you are being accused of being a bigot and intolerant, you might be right. There's nothing more disarming in a heat of an argument to admit that the other person might be right. It's at that point you've humbled yourself and you've given the other person a chance to save face. In 1 Peter 5, 6 through 7, it says, "Humble yourself before God so that he will lift you up in time." The problem is we're so obsessed with being right that we want to force our way from the proverbial mountain we stand on. The problem with the mountain we stand on is only 6 inches high. Get off the mountain and understand and humble yourself. Maybe someone else is right. So there's 3 things I want you to consider. If you're going to have a platinum faith and respond to people around you who disagree with you, number 1, you need to be gracious. Show some grace. Number 2, be willing to put the other person's need in front of your own interests. Think about how they're feeling and measure what's taking place. Thirdly and lastly, show love. Show forgiveness, show grace, show love. And by showing love, you win that friend. You may disagree, but you can agree to disagree and still be a friend. Hope this helped you. Hit the like button and share it with someone else. Thanks for listening.